The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, and welcome to our product update session where I'd like to share some exciting news about TripGate. My name is Denek, and many of you already know me. I'm a product manager at CE Travel Systems. Today, I've picked a couple of highlights out of the new features we've developed and released in the past several months. There are two areas I'm going to focus on: the key features which bring major value to TripGate, and some smaller features which definitely have great impact on users, agencies, engines, the product experience, and also bring time and cost savings to both agency and corporate customers. A few house rules first. Please stay muted during the presentation. And in the meantime, should you have any questions, you can use a chat window on the right-hand side. There, you may drop and send your questions. And in the last 10 or 15 minutes, I'm going to answer. All right, so let's jump into it. First, let's come with me and have a quick look at TripGate for those who see it for the first time. So you may ask me, well, why do I need a corporate booking tool at all? Why should I invest money into the product and training of my people? What value does it bring to me and my agency? Well, my answer is always yes. Yes, you need it. You need it because it saves your agency a lot of time and money. It drives additional value, revenues, and most important thing is that your customers want it for the features, benefits, and all the reasons you are going to see here today. So TripGate has a lot of content. It's not anymore about air tickets. It's also about hotels and trains, and you are going to see more of it later on. Everything you have in the palm of your hand. So TripGate is fully responsive. It has a responsive design. So whatever device you have, if, for example, laptop, mobile phone, or tablet, anywhere there, when you open the web browser, TripGate is there, available 24/7. There's also a dedicated mobile application for those who really wish to have something installed in their mobile phones. We've brought with TripGate a lot of corporate dedicated features, which means that it's not just a simple online booking tool, but TripGate is really a corporate booking tool, having the travel policy where companies can define the rules and measures under which they wish the trip to be, considered to be in or out of the policy, which as a consequence leads to an approval process. So usually when everything is okay and the travel policy is in policy, then there is no necessity to have any approval process in place, and everything could be approved automatically based on the travel policy assessment. Still, if your travelers pick any fare which breaks or is not in line with the defined travel policy, it doesn't mean that they need to they cannot travel, they cannot pick the fare. They can, of course, but that fare or that trip must be usually approved by responsible manager. The traveler must prove the reasons for picking more expensive or this kind of fare which breaks the policy rules. So the most important corporate features are the travel policy and approval processes. On top of that, we obviously allow customers to see their corporate negotiated fares, whether this is a corporate fare or agency fare. There's a new feature which we call budgeting. I will speak about it a little bit later. Then we have sophisticated profile management, whether you wish to manage your profiles manually within the back office of TripGate, or we allow you to upload the profiles from a spreadsheet, in a bulk load. And as we care about, and you do also care about your travelers, there are some features in the group duty of care, for instance, travel notifications, where definitely improves travelers' awareness and it improves safety of the traveler in the destination and during the all travel. All of that, um, all of that is in encapsulated in the back office, which provides several kinds of reports based on the past data. So companies and your agency can also take data from TripGate. You can evaluate the data of the past trips, and you can clearly analyze and see where there is a space for more effectiveness, for more cost savings, and more time savings as well. So the trip reports are available, cost saving reports are available, and also speaking of the budgets, we have budget reports as well. All of that serves to set up new rules and new measures for the future, and therefore to bring more costs for not just agency but also for your corporate customers. Altogether, it definitely reduces travel management costs at all. Okay, so that was a quick overview on what is TripGate, and now let's move to the product update. First area I want to cover are the key features. Branded fares feature has been added to TripGate this summer. How does it work? Well, you begin, as always, by filling the search form and requesting the search results. In a couple of seconds, you get the results on the screen of your device. And initially, from the first response, TripGate offers one or two cheapest available brands for each displayed fare combination. You can go ahead and pick one of these fares, but perhaps you may be interested to see more options which an airline offer, maybe some more flexible fares or even a business fare. So there is a button which opens up a pop-up window showing a matrix, as you could see on the screen in front of you. And that matrix compares all the available brands which the airline offers. So in columns, you can see the brands. In rows, you see the services which are included or extra payable or excluded out of that brand. So there are three indicators. It's a tick, which means that the service is included in the fare. There's a gray cross, which indicates that the service is definitely not included in that fare. Or there is a price tag, which means that that service costs extra money on the top of the ticket price. On the bottom of the screen, there's a travel policy indicator, which shows you whether the trip is in or out of the policy, whether you have you are in compliance or violation of the policy. If you click that button, it shows you the details of the travel policy assessment, where you can learn more about each individual measure set up by your company, and you can see where you break the rules, and how can you improve your search, or how you can what kind of other trip you can pick in order to be in policy of your company. Now, clearly, none of these brands are in policy, all break the rules, but doesn't, as I said, it doesn't mean you cannot continue with the booking. Most probably, your company would just require additional approval of the selected fare. Now, there's a pricing and there's a select button. When you hit that button, the booking flow continues. You need to fill in a personal form with your private details, like emails, phone numbers, and so on and so forth. And then by confirming the details, you have the booking already done. So all that booking process takes around like 5 minutes altogether. On the side of the agent, there's a clear benefit. This online process, comparing to the offline work of your agent, saves on average 10 minutes of your agent's time per booking. I'm going to come back to the case study in the end of this presentation, but this is important information here, that the time savings for each booking, which we bring having the online process in place, that brings 10 minutes of time savings. And then, as I said in the case study, I'm going to transfer these time savings into the value of money. So the benefit of having all brands in the view is definitely offer simplification, where travelers can buy upper brands for which you may collect higher fees, and as a result, it drives your revenues, right? The customers also feel more satisfied because they have this plenty of options available, and they feel that they have this, like in the shop with groceries, you have plenty of stuff, you buy just some of it, but you feel happy because you have a great selection. Branded fares work the same way. Next, let's talk about hotels. How does it work? It's very simple. If you can see on the top of the screenshot, you during the booking process, or before you begin the search, you need to select what kind of service you want to book, whether it's a flight ticket or a train or a hotel booking. Now, if you begin your business trip booking, by booking a flight and confirming the reservation, then when you switch to hotels, the destination is already pre-filled. The check-in date and check-out date mirrors your arrival date to the destination and departure date from the destination. So it's very easy. If you really want to go ahead with the hotel booking, and you are going to stay in the place according to the itinerary of your flight, these details are already there, including the travelers, including the cost center details, and so on and so forth. So you may begin the search. The search process of hotels takes a little bit longer than with the flight booking, but still we are somewhere like between 10 and 15 seconds, because we need to collect a lot of more data comparing to the flight results. Now, the results by default are sorted by the price from the cheapest to the most expensive. And if you want to have a list view, this is what you see directly in front of you. But you may switch to a map view, which is on the left side, on the left-hand side of the search results. When you switch to the map view, you can zoom in, zoom out on the map. You can see where is your office location, and you can select one of the hotels which are clearly in the neighborhood of your office, or of the destination or the meeting place where you want to go. So this is the map view and the list view. If you selected the hotel, you may proceed with choosing the room. Now, there's a selection of room available for you, including the pricing, and also the travel policy assessment is available there. Now, you can check the pictures of the hotel, the pictures of the room, so that you can confirm your selection. And then based on the policy, you usually select or pick a room, and then again, the personal form opens up if we are talking about the booking process, and you finish the booking itself. It's very easy, and the time spent on the booking is similar, like with the flight booking, usually on average around 5 minutes. Now, again, comparing to the online process and comparing the offline process to the online process, your agent saves on average 10 minutes of their work per each booking if you hand over the responsibility for the booking towards the travelers. Having Travelport's content in TripGate is a huge step forward in terms of TripGate's capabilities because broader selection offers more ways for increasing the revenues, and it definitely fulfills customers' expectations. Next, let's talk about railways. Um, This is the recent upgrade for TripGate, and railways are now still a part of the flight search result. So we mix both the rail content and the air content. And the reason historically is very simple because we used to do it in the past. And when we brought these new trains, new railway operators to TripGate, we kept the view. For sure, in the future, there are going to be upgrades and improvements in terms of simplification and clarity. But definitely, the rail content is in TripGate and it's available for booking. What are the new railway operators? So you can find there Spanish Renfe, the Channel Eurostar, Belgium Railways, there are TGV trains. So all the major Western European railway operators are definitely a part of it. There are some other global operators from different countries like Amtrak or China Railway. Now, having these possibilities, we've expanded again the offer, not having just the air connections, but also air connections by train. All of that to be to be booked by your travelers in TripGate. The booking flow itself stays the same as for the air content, so there is no change. There is the travel policy assessment and indicator whether the trip is in line with policy or it breaks the rules. And again, when using the pop-up window, we can display the details of the policy assessment. So the railway has become a part of TripGate just recently as a sum up. And again, I would say that comparing to the offline booking, this possibility for your travelers saves your agent's time by around 10 minutes. All right. Now let's talk about some features which definitely drives your revenues because there are some fees included, and it also improves the user experience in general. The first and most important feature I would like to speak about is the budgeting. And budgeting, we have the budgeting we split into two sections for traveler budget and cost center budget. The key part of it, the budget, the personal budget per traveler, basically shows you, as you can see on the screen in front of you, it declares the amount of the budget per traveler, and then you need to set up the expiration date. Why? The question you may ask is why we have budgeting and why there are some budget per travelers if we already have travel policies, right? So the reason is very simple because um, the having the travel policy sometimes is very restrictive. The fare restrictions could be very tight, and as a result, travelers do not have many in policy options on the screens. Travelers don't want their trips to be all the time approved just because there is one connection on the way or because the ticket is just, I don't know, 5% more expensive than the cheapest available fare. So sometimes the travel policy doesn't offer such a flexibility. And for those corporate customers who want to have the travel policy more flexible, and they are focused on personal responsibility rather than on tight fare restrictions, budget is a perfect solution. So the how it works is that you provide your travelers and sometimes quarter or sometimes annually budget depending on your preference. You need to set up the expiration date, and also you need to set up the amount of budget for that period of time. And how it works later on is that for all the trips which your travelers are going to book in the TripGate, all the trips compare the budget amount with the fare value. And if the fare is definitely less than the budget, you can still proceed with the booking, whether it's a cheapest fare or more expensive fare. When you draw your budget out of the wallet in the middle of the year, let's say, and then you want to book, you still want to travel, or you have to travel and you want to book any kind of trip, and you don't have any personal budget for that, then you need to approve such trips and you need to explain yourself why you exceeded the budget, why you want to book another trip if you don't have a budget for that. So it really hands over the responsibility for each booking on the traveler, and it gives them freedom, but to some extent, of course, there are some limits, and the limit is the budget. The personal budget can be to the personal budget there can be added the cost center budget. So as you know, the booking flow, the booking process itself requires to define cost center before you begin the search. The cost center can also have its budget, so there could be two restrictions, two limits. It works the very same way as the personal budget. So you need to set up the amount and the expiration date. So you can have monthly budgets, quarterly budget, annual budgets, and so on and so forth. And both of these budgets, cost center and the personal budget, can be combined together. Therefore, you are really sure that your traveler's budget will definitely not exceed the budget for all the travelers on the cost center. It's very simple, it's very easy to use. And during the booking process, on the travel policy assessment screen, you can the travelers or travel arrangers clearly see what is the budget amount available, what is the budget of the trip out of the itinerary, and then you have the simple comparison whether the trip is in line and it can be covered by the budget, or whether it breaks the rules and it needs to be approved. It's very attractive, as I said, and all these budgets are reported later on in the history tab. So on the personal level and also on the cost center level, there's a log, a history of all the trips which took money from your wallet, from the budget. And later on in the reports, we can show the company how during time the budget has been drawn to zero, or even exceeded and approved, and by whom to be approved. So this is a very important feature. It definitely adds more value to travel policy, and it's something what we have developed specially for some smaller corporate customers. Now let's talk about duty of care, because these days are very challenging, not just in terms of safety in the destination, but because of the COVID-19 situation and so on and so forth. So travel notifications are the means for agents and for corporations how to take care of the passengers and their travelers. You can set up and notify your users about different things. And as I can see this feature to be used by our agencies and their customers, we can distinguish three groups of travel notifications and the use cases how our customers use this product and the feature. So the three groups are travel restrictions. So whether there is some there is the travel restriction related to COVID-19, whether there's a travel restriction because of some I don't know, some nature catastrophe or some terrorism danger. All that could be listed based on passenger citizenship and the destination or group of destinations. So travel restrictions is one group. Second group, I would say there are document requirements like visa requirements or any other requirement requested by the airline or the country of destination. And the last group I would say is the destination safety information related to some, as I said, natural disasters or terrorism threats and so on and so forth. So definitely this brings safety and other kinds of alerts to increase the traveler awareness. And it also decreases odds of mistakes caused by incomplete travel documentation, visa requirements, so on and so forth. Now, because TripGate is an online booking tool and it should definitely increase self-sufficiency of your travelers and travel arrangers. So there is one improvement, which may seem to be funny a little bit, but it's a one button which we just added on the booking site. So uh, just until now, the travelers or travel arrangers could book a trip and they were waiting for the ticket to be issued. But if there was something, if something happened in the meantime before the ticketing, and the ticket or the reservation must have been cancelled, or the booking had to be changed for some reason, the only possibility so far was to call the agency, cancel the booking, and prepare a new, look for a new trip and proceed with the booking. There's a new button, what we call cancel button. And after the booking is confirmed, the traveler or the travel arranger can still go to the reservation overview on the booking site. They can click on each booking and to see the details. And on the bottom of the screen, there is this magic cancel reservation button, which has just been added, and they can themselves they can cancel the booking without having to contact the travel agency and agents. So it saves a lot of time communicating with agents, and it means less work for them as well. And also travelers are more happy because they can do that themselves in a matter of seconds. This is a very one small thing, but a big step for sure. Now, something important and definitely very welcomed for agency, we've improved the service fee setup. So right now, there are two new rules which we offer in the back office of TripGate. You can set up origin by country, and you can set up destination by country. You don't need to have any restrictions, but if you wish so, you can set up service fee by country or by groups of countries. This is the first rule. And the second rule is the cabin class. So far, the only possible way was to have a flat fee or a flat fixed fee or percentage based on, there was no base on the cabin class. It was a flat fee for all the bookings. Right now, you can distinguish the fee based on the cabin class, whether this is economy premium, business, or first class. And so, how it helps you is that you can clearly divide the fee based on the cabin class. So, you may charge a little bit less for the economy class, and of course, more for the economy premium and business class, or even first class. So, this way, you can drive higher revenues for your agency. Now, I promised at the beginning that I would pay attention to the case study, because during the presentation, I mentioned a couple of time savings, and I would like to show you how it translates into money talk. So let's talk money right now. Let's talk money, but first, one of our clients here in the Czech Republic. Actually, this is the biggest travel agency in the Czech Republic, which is called Student Agency and Orbix. Martina Hrnčířová, the director of back office, when they implemented TripGate, and after a couple of months of using it, she says that statistics show to them that since the introduction of monitoring, companies definitely see immediate savings over 3% of total travel costs. This is true, and for sure during time that travel savings in the decrease of travel cost increases. Now, I would like to come back to the case study, and in this study, we focused on the processes for of the offline and online bookings, and we compared them. We split the processes into four categories when we are talking about offline process. So the first part is the request, then we move forward to the offer, then agents usually fill in the trip and passenger details and they issue the tickets. All that processes take some time, and on average we counted 30 minutes which agents have to pay attention to each booking. When we're talking about money, that booking costs $6 US, depending on the cost on each country. But we can say clearly in the case study which we had that the cost average cost would be $6 US. Now, comparing to the online booking flow, where most of the process is done by the travelers or automatically by the robots. Usually, agents spend 10 minutes paying attention to the booking if we are taking into account manual ticketing, for instance, or some changes of the booking if it really happens. The cost $2.6 refers to the booking fee which CE Travel System charges for each ticketed booking. So if you compare that and if you do some math, then in terms of time you save 20 minutes if you have an online booking tool for your customers, and it means $3.4 if you count the money on both sides. So 6 minus 2.60 equals $3.4. This is total saving for one single booking. And then if we are talking about money and we have a closer look on the annual savings, even if you have at least 130 bookings a month, which is nothing, right? I mean, 130 bookings, this is a production done by a single corporate customer. Having that production a year, you save over 5,470 US dollars. If you have more bookings, you save more money. If you have less, then you save less, definitely. But on average, having at least 130 bookings, you would save 5,470 US dollars. And with that number, I would like to say thank you, and I would like to let you think about it, because this proves that there is definitely space for you to have an online booking tool, a corporate booking tool like TripGate in your travel agency. So thank you for your attention. Now, let's move to your questions. I will open up the chat box over here and let's see what we have. What questions do we have here? So the first question is, how many companies can I have in TripGate? So thank you for that. Well, we do not have any limit on number of companies in TripGate, so feel free to have one or feel free to have 50. It really doesn't matter to us, because we charge per issued ticket. So your production in TripGate, your issued bookings really matter, but it doesn't matter whether you have 1 or 50 companies included. What we charge you is only the issued ticket. Okay, next question. Is there a limit for number of users? That's very similar. We do not put any limit of number of corporations, on number of travelers, administrators, managers. It really doesn't matter. Next question is, do you have any supporting marketing materials? Yes, we do. We have a product site, C Travel Systems, and on that product website, there is a section for TripGate, and you have a YouTube channel over there. You can share with your customers the TripGate fact sheet. You can share the product website. There are a couple of product videos which in 2 minutes shows what is TripGate about and how it helps your customers improve, the processes, how it drives the revenues for and cost savings for them as well. So all that you can find on TripGate product website and see travel systems. Okay, any other question there? Okay, it seems that we have everything covered. Okay, I give you a couple of more seconds. Please feel free to unmute yourself and feel free to ask any questions. Now this is the time. Okay, looks like you have no more questions. If you still have if you still come up with something later on, you can send us question on our emails, and we will be happy to answer any of it. With that, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for being here with me today, and I hope to see and to talk to you, to see you soon, having the TripGate live demonstration. Uh, thank you very much, and take care. Have a good day.